Let me know when we start, by the way, so I can.
That's what they're doing. He's getting it going.
All right, John, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Cue music.
And we are live here on Hot Tag Takes on HamiltonRadio.net, channel HR2. I am your host, John BRECKO. With me over to my right in the hot box. We're going to call it the hot box because I'm so used to roasting this man. Ruben Rodriguez is here, the show's producer. How are you, man? How you feeling? How you living? How's life?
Oh, boy. 5 questions in 30 seconds.
I try, man. Rapid fire.
Treating me like Boston Market.
Rapid fire. We got to keep it moving in here.
Yeah, that's right.
There's going to be smoke coming from his bald head in a minute.
Well, make long story short, I just finished filming a movie about JFK Jr.
Just so you guys know, he's ditching us next week.
Yeah, I am.
I'm just kidding. We're moving it to a different day. He ain't getting away from me.
No, I'm trying to.
You ain't trying to slide out.
busy?
That grease monkey bald head.
I am a visual artist, so you're not gonna create like one of those things that look like I'm here.
Yo, Ruben, I just want to know, do you ever grease up your head and try to slide on the first floor of this building like a slip and slide? Like, I genuinely look at the top of your head and get curious.
As long as you're on the bottom, so I can have something to bounce on, you'll be straight.
Ruben, that sounds like a horrible time. I don't think I want to be part of this. I might slowly back away, and we might not have a show because of you. Anyways, Darren Silver is here. He's actually here. And he actually came with his guest of last week who showed up without him. Nick Berry's in the house. How is the open mic, gentlemen? How are we feeling?
Well. We both have feet to stand on after that one.
We put some wood to the fire.
To say the least, yeah.
We put some wood to the fire and we threw some bombs in there. Is that what happened?
Oh, I bombed.
Honestly, nah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think either one of us bombed, but we just tried to continue our comedic career by putting wood to the fire.
So you tried to continue, and there was just a bunch of side conversations going on.
No.
They gave us full attention, which was kind of wild.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Because you go to some of those open mic bars, and they're paying no attention to you at all.
Oh,
like
no,
you're just talking out into the ether.
No, like this one, I felt like it, but they were looking right at us, like, tell me more.
Yeah.
They're like, you're single, you've got trauma.
Tell me more.
Do you want to get some pizza afterwards? And I was like, hell yeah, I'll take some pizza.
Darren was never going to say no to that. So, just to let everybody know, Darren has a Wawa in Indiana now, and he's very excited about this after visiting me in Jersey for a birthday a couple years ago. I got to ask you, did you ever find those raspberry donuts?
No, because I've still yet to go.
You
got a Wawa, and I've still yet to go to
See,
it.
you were very excited about that and telling me about it, and I'm still waiting for it to happen.
I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit for
At
it.
this point, you might have to try them on the show.
Oh, I will. Don't.
And then we might have to watch you like mid heart attack because you love it so much, and you're just stressing yourself out. It's gonna be a lot for this man. After all that hype.
That's a tough donut.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Tough donut. That's a
Anyways,
tough donut.
I am very, very excited to have a guest of this show on. He's got an amazing YouTube channel called Bird's Nest Media. We're talking a little bit about sports tonight. We got a Lions fan, a Cowboys fan, an Eagles fan. Oh my.
Cowboys, fuck the Eagles.
And that's okay. He's a hater. We understand. But I'm very, very excited to have this guest on. Ladies and gentlemen, the owner of Bird's Nest Media and their YouTube channel, Joe Donahue! What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm doing fine, John. Thanks so much for the invitation to come on.
Dude, I am so excited to have you on. I love your videos on the Eagles. They're so informative. I enjoy the shit out of it in, layman's terms. Whenever you talk about the Eagles, whatever information you put out there about them, and I love going back and forth with you on the Eagles too. So I do have two questions to start. They're general questions.
Yeah.
How did Bird's Nest Media get started, and how did your love for sports get started before that?
Yes, and those are both very good questions, and certainly both very related, right? Like, you can't start a sports channel without having some degree of passion or some degree of interest in whatever sport that it is that you choose to cover. So
right.
For me, my love of the Eagles really has been something that's been present throughout my entire life. My family has actually had season tickets to the Eagles since the days of Franklin Field. My grandfather got them. He's the only person.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but you already made the Cowboys fan walk away, and I love it.
Okay, good.
No, but this has been in your family for a while.
Yeah, it has been. Again, my mom's father was the one that got the tickets back in the day, and he was the only person my dad ever believed was at the 1960 NFL championship game when
100%.
the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Green Bay Packers and dealt Vince Lombardi his only playoff loss. The
Eagles got that one, by the way, just so everybody knows.
Yep,
That
only
wasn't a Super
loss
Bowl.
for the guy for whom the Super Bowl
wasn't a
trophy
Super
is
Bowl.
named. But the trophy is named for him. Also, I mean, talk to me when I can't buy your most recent Super Bowl a drink at the bar. So in any event,
Feels so good to say that after all those years.
Bye-bye.
I cried at Super Bowl 52. I was drunk, but I was very emotional.
Wait, who do they play in that one?
That was the Patriots.
Damn.
That was the actual epic one.
That was the fold. That was the fold
That was the
bowl.
fold,
That was
yeah.
the fold bowl.
I wasn't
Okay.
yeah,
getting
that
it.
was the Philly special. Yep. Yeah. So obviously, growing up, huge Eagles fan, and that's been something that's been really. I mean, going to Super Bowl 50, not to the actual Super Bowl, but being part of the fan base during that season, and then just continuing through. Really, it had there was a lot of just passion there, and then ultimately, what wound up happening, and this was kind of related to everything. So I do have some news in my background. I was an intern for Channel 3. I graduated from college with a degree in communications. Channel 3 is the CBS station around here for those of you who are in the Indiana area. So
CBS.
the local CBS channel around here. So I did some interning with them, and thought that was going to be where my career was going to go. It took a few other turns. But ultimately, what wound up happening was I found I came across during the Eagles 22-23 season where they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Chiefs. So that was a couple years ago. I came across a YouTube channel run by a Green Bay Packers fan named Tom Grassi. And
I've seen his channel.
Yeah, so really popular guy. If you haven't seen him, check him out. Like that, it's he does really, really funny. Like he does comedy and stuff, but he also offers really insightful NFL analysis.
He does.
But I remember seeing him do the live streams that he would do, because he would live stream Packers games. He would live stream, and he still does, live streams Packers games, live streams other games like primetime games throughout the season. And I remember seeing him do that, and I was like, I could do that.
You know what? Yeah, let's do it, right?
So during the Eagles playoff run that year was when I kind of got some videos started, and it's been going ever since.
That's beautiful, man. I love it. So the first memory I have as an Eagles fan, me personally, is guys like Donovan McNabb being on the team, Brian Westbrook, Weapon X, Brian Dawkins. You know, guys like that.
Let me say this as a Cowboys fan.
Okay.
What's up, hater?
Michael Vick and the Dream Team Brian Dawkins, Donovan McNabb, legends.
Absolutely.
It made me watch Eagles games at the time I was a Cowboys fan. So shout out to those dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's mostly saying that about Michael Vick and the days we
I
were looking
picked
for a
that up.
quarterback.
I picked that up there.
You know, like Michael
I'm a
Vick after
Falcons
Donovan McNabb.
I'm a Falcons Michael Vick fan.
No, we understand. Are you a Redskins Donovan McNabb fan as well?
No, absolutely not.
I mean, they weren't relevant then either, so it's okay.
Fuck the Redskins.
You can be happy for the Redskins. They didn't go anywhere.
They literally don't exist. So
Well, the Commanders now, the Redskins back then.
The Washington football team.
What year was this?
What a name.
Yeah.
What year was this? Now you got me really. I'm really thinking like he played for the.
It was like last couple years of his career.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like-
they weren't anything to write home about.
Yeah, no, it was when Donovan McNabb was fading.
Oh, I think I had CTE by then
Yeah, you might have.
from that one season of football.
Yeah, dude, it's hard.
Well, you played a season? I want to hear about this. This is what we should actually hear about. This is the kind of football we should talk
Yeah.
about. Darren Silver
What year did you play?
putting some pads on.
We didn't play the full season, but
Were you
How far did you get into the season?
Were you a small school?
we got into 3 days of practice.
I love it. I'm
No,
so
this
proud.
kid-
He made it past the first day. You
No,
should take
listen
a
to
bow.
this. I don't talk about it a lot, but that's why like when we talk about these football teams, football players, whether the teams suck or not, if you're an NFL player, gotta give you skill. You got the skill. I give you respect.
Yeah, you're
But-
bottom 0.01% of.
Well, I'm not a
population.
bottom, okay. But
What?
anyway, this dude.
He just had to put that out there.
Yeah, but just saying. So this dude, like, I'm fat, okay? You guys all know I'm fat. What do we call this? You was talking about it earlier. My Boston cream.
The
Jimmy.
milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Yeah,
my
gotcha.
Boston cream pies over here, you know, my cream cakes. Anyway, this guy.
Joe's got a good poker face.
I like this guy. I like this guy's face. Like he's over here. I'm like, I feel like it's like the CBS Sports Report. Like, all right,
Oh, dude, you want to see his face? You should see Ruben just looking at the screen on the side.
Dude, that's. But
Ruben has a
anyway,
terrible
this guy-
poker face. He's easy to crack.
I was probably 180 in junior high. I'll say that. I was probably about 175, 180. This kid you not, was about 3 inches taller than me, and he was about 215, 220.
Okay.
Leveled me, picked me up, and it was the one where I don't know much about football.
Oh, he hit you with a wrestling move because you didn't know better.
It was the one where the ball's in the middle. We're both running to try to grab the ball. I didn't even touch the ball. He didn't even go for the ball. And he just, like, picked me up, slammed me. My head hit the ground. And I kid you not, like, everything went black. And that day, I thought it was, like, 5
Right.
minutes. It was only, like, 30 seconds. But I was like, yep, football's not for me. We're not,
I'm not
no,
gonna
no.
lie. I do love an accidental slam, like when I'm watching a game,
Mhm.
like every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like you see a guy just go over another, he picks him up, turns him over.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure we've seen a couple of those.
Yeah.
Seen a couple suplexes, seen a couple spine busters.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Brian.
the-
Every now and again, you like to see somebody like Brian Dawkins deliver a hit on Algie Crumpler that's still echoing through the stands at Lincoln Financial Field to this day, 20 years later. So totally get it.
I want to see him hit him with a spear like he's Roman Reigns.
Well, here's how big this kid was. 2 years later, 9th grade, I see the kid at church, and he falls, he slips, he's running around because, kids being kids at youth group, slips, puts a big old life-size full-body hole into the wall, dude.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, probably good that I quit football if this kid's laying me out. Good thing I didn't take another 1 or 2 more hits from him, so...
I mean, it happens. You kind of just see, things flash before your eyes, and then you realize where you are after that, and you're like, how did I get here? Why am I laying on the ground? Why do I feel like I've been out for like 12 hours when it's really only been 12 seconds?
he hit me so
You kind
hard,
of
I
go
was
into
like,
the matrix for a second. You know what I mean?
And I
He took the red
Expert
pill.
analysis right there. They should put me on CBS next. Can't
Something
you
like
tell?
that. Yeah.
So I do want to give a couple shout outs. Shout out to the man they call Deborah. Big
Oh,
fan of the
Deborah's
show.
here.
We really
Deborah.
appreciate Deborah. Manly Deborah. Deborah with a beard. You know what I mean? Gotta love Deborah. leaving comments for us. We very much appreciate you. Shout out to Ben's World Podcast. Check out his podcast. I don't know if it's an actual podcast. I haven't checked out his channel yet. I just saw a couple comments. And I do also want to share, guys, we have surpassed 15,500 subscribers. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So I do want to talk about a little bit of what you've done with Bird's Nest Media. You've covered the Eagles for the past few years. You've interviewed insiders like Dave Sperato and others. I think you got raided. You mentioned Tom Grossi, and I think you actually got raided by him one time.
Yes. Yeah, that was very early on. Yeah, Tom has this thing where he will, during halftime, they'll rate smaller creators. Just send the folks to the comments, just like saying, hey, checking in, throwing likes and subscribes if they are at all interested in that. And totally unexpected. Definitely did not see that coming, and was really thrilled when it did happen. So.
What I love about it is he's the person that kind of inspired you in the first place. And the fact that it was so unplanned.
Yeah, he's good people, and I've had conversations with him afterwards, and certainly, I mean, like, just the knowledge, because everybody's got to start somewhere, right? Like, everybody starts. You just celebrated 15,500 subscribers,
Yes,
and
sir.
everybody's got to start somewhere. Everybody starts with that 0, that 1, maybe that first 100, just trying to get there. Tom feels like, from the conversations that I've had with him, he feels like he hasn't lost the sense of like coming from there. And
I can tell you for a fact I definitely haven't either.
Yeah.
Especially because those first 100 took me like 10 months.
I'm not disputing that. Yeah. But then you factor into this whole thing too, right? With like, I mean, Tom's now on like this close to 1 million subscribers at this point. So the fact that like somebody like that still feels like he is, he still feels like he's very genuine. He's very, very down to earth in that regard too. That's relatively unheard of in the media world. So
yeah. No,
I know you're an Eagles fan, and as a Cowboys fan, I respect that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
he's a Packers fan, by the way. You don't have to hate him as much.
Yeah, Tom's a Packers fan. But yeah, I mean,
No, I was talking about you.
Yeah.
Not Tom.
Growing up an Eagles fan, it's a byproduct of I think, and I've noticed this a lot. Eagles fan, like sports fandom in general, so much is a family affair, right? Yeah. Like that when it's not a family affair,
right?
That people get very emotional.
People also like it makes it for an interesting story typically. It's either a byproduct of your family or it's either a byproduct of your environment. And I was just talking about this. One of the folks that I had on a couple weeks ago was CNN's Jake Tapper, who is himself an Eagles fan and who, if you didn't catch the on the day of the Eagles parade, he spent like 7 minutes of airtime just reading off receipts from last season. But one of the things that I made sure that I asked him about was like, hey, like his family was not from Philadelphia, so talk about like that. And he said like it was a byproduct of the friends that he was with, the environment that he was in.
I have a very. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I interrupted.
Yeah, no worries. I
have a very similar situation because all of my family is like a 49ers fan because I was born in California and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
so special.
I had one brother that was a Cowboys fan, and he led me to that. So
yeah,
that makes sense. So how did that happen though?
This is why I didn't want to interrupt.
Because he was around others and wasn't necessarily in that fandom. So
yeah, like so Jake Tapper's fandom really it was he was coming up during that around the 1980s
Okay.
time frame where like all of the teams were relatively good, especially in 1980, 1981, where every one of the major Philly sports teams.
Someone did leave a comment saying "Dub Bears," by the way.
Okay.
It's from that time period. It was relevant.
Think
That's
about
why
it.
I
Think
said
about
it.
it.
fair. Yep,
Mike
that's fair. But
Singletary, you got Warren Moon for the Oilers, I believe, at that time.
Yes.
A lot of football.
There was Mike Ditka.
Ditka for
That's
the
true.
Bears.
Yep.
They suck now, but whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean the Bears were at one. I mean every team goes through that, right? Like even if you look at the Eagles, right? Like the Eagles are good right now. The Eagles, arguably, you could make the statement that they're one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl again this year. So very
Humble
very
brag.
Communicative. You know what? I'm gonna stand up as a comic and say bullshit.
Yeah.
So
comic.
who are you picking?
Comic.
Who are you picking? I would
Cowboys
love to hear
fan.
this.
He's depressed, is what he's saying.
I mean, we could see it. We could see it. I mean, honestly, man, this is probably the perfect place to go after a bar open mic. I got to tell you, this will just, it'll go together so well.
Anyways,
yeah.
I just
man.
know when I'm talking to a professional communicator.
That's right. 100%.
Dang, that's a compliment for a Philly
listen.
sports fan, calling a Philly fan professional. Dang, we might have
Let
found
me
the two
just-
nicest Eagles fans in existence over
Listen,
here.
let me just brush off my shoulders really quick because that's probably never going to happen again. You know what I mean? We're not
They
used
say
to
Philly
this.
fans are scary. Like you guys look like you might share like a Wawa cheesecake with me or something.
So
Cheesecake.
I am actually curious because you guys are making me think about this. Where were you at when Super Bowl 52 happened as well as after? Because with me,
Is that the polls
I
now?
was enjoying drinks with friends. We had a Super Bowl party. And then
Which
that
one
first
was
Super
that
Bowl,
one?
we actually went out to Philly after. Like we were in the city. We got cheesesteaks. No, probably the most chill people there. We weren't tipping any cars or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I was. We were watching it at a friend's house, and just kind of. I mean, we go there every year for the Super Bowl party, so
Right.
we were watching it at a friend's house, and I will say, like, it was supremely tense throughout. Like, it was really. I remember like hanging on and waiting. And even when Brandon Graham got his strip sack of Tom Brady,
Yeah,
with 2
I was
minutes
still
left,
worried.
like we were like there was definitely excitement through there, but we
yeah.
needed the Eagles to capitalize on it, and they only got a field goal out of it. I think was the situation, and I remember like thinking, like this is not going to end well because the Eagles didn't get a touchdown out of the deal. It was going to be a repeat of Super Bowl 39 all over again. And then we see Tom Brady, like there was too much time on the clock and everything, and then we see Tom Brady launch that Hail Mary ball down into the end zone, and it was bobbling around for way too long. Note to defenses everywhere. If you're playing the Hail Mary, and especially if it's an end game Hail Mary, your only job is to put the ball on the ground incomplete. You should not be trying for a turnover or an interception. Your hero ball is end the game.
Put it
if
on the
you're
ground.
Up. And that's obviously what happened. Ultimately, was it bounced incomplete, and then it was just euphoria. We did not go into the city. I fully.
You're probably smart. You're probably smarter than we were.
Fully expected it to be pandemonium down there. So we did not go into the city immediately following. But I did go to the parade.
Good man.
Yeah, I did go to the parade the next couple of days. Where I was, my best friend's dad had a law office at 2 Penn Center at the time, and so we stayed the night over in 2 Penn Center. And
nice.
Right on JFK, and then went down to the lobby to watch the parade as it passed by right in front of the building. So that was a really stellar parade experience.
So I love, being able to, get to see, all the receipts get written for obviously when they won Super Bowl 59, right?
Mm-hmm.
but nothing for me will be Jason Kelsey's get up at that first parade, and just going through everything everybody else said, because he was so into himself, he was feeling himself, and the passion he delivered in that speech, as he talked about every point about Brett Selleck being too old. This person doesn't have it anymore. That person doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's the most epic Super Bowl speech that I remember.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was there were so many question marks with that team at the time, though.
Yeah.
And definitely there was a lot of, I refer to it as
Getting
fan
emotional
confidence.
already.
No, I refer to it as fan confidence. There was a lot of fan confidence, right? Like,
Yeah,
which could
of
also be
course.
translated to as hope. But also, there were real question marks with the team, and especially when Carson Wentz went down. Especially when, he played at an MVP caliber level.
Yeah.
At that season, and the next morning after Carson Wentz went off to the locker room, and it was it was confirmed he had an ACL injury. The 94 WIP guys were playing like therapists on the phone for the callers, and that was like people were calling in crying tears and everything like that. And there were legitimate questions about that team as it related to injuries. Certainly, there was a lot of nonsense, right? Like there were, and there's always going to be that kind of talk and that kind of analysis. So, we've seen that over the last couple. We have seen that from people who should know better this offseason, after Jalen Hurts won MVP, won Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, yeah.
And people are still questioning him. And it's like, no.
I got all the fan confidence in the world.
Fuck the birds.
That's okay. That's haterade right there.
Dak Prescott's winning the MVP this year.
I just want to go just caw at this man. Like he's like Nick Barry is a man you just want to flap your wings around, just spread your wings and fly. Listen,
please do.
Listen, I would be lucky to get off the ground. All right, the jet never started. You know what I mean? Joe, I gotta tell you, sometimes I tell people I'm so fat when I see somebody with a widow's peak haircut, I think of the McDonald's symbol.
Yeah, I think when you came on my show, you made that same comment.
Yeah,
so
I might have made a couple of these. I know if he starts maniacally laughing, I probably said it before. This man's reading receipts now. You hear it?
He's a professional.
Oh, man. But there is a team that I do want to give some flowers to. Obviously not the Cowboys, but,
I'm sorry. I am going to give the Cowboys flowers for one reason and for one reason only, for the soap opera that is every offseason with that team.
See, you call it the Dallas Cowboys. I call it General
Birds.
Hospital.
Go Birds.
He said go Birds. Oh, man. You got him saying go Birds.
You call it Dallas Cowboys. I call it One Life to Live.
Yeah,
Future Eagle Micah Parsons needs to get a contract going before he can.
Absolutely. Join his brother in arms, Saquon Barkley.
We're all living in it.
Then after that, we should get Terry McCrallin.
Yeah, Scary Terry.
Yeah,
Yep.
Scary Terry from the Commanders.
Yep.
Scary Terry.
Just raid the NFC East. This is real fan talk right here. But
Honestly.
no, there's an actual team that I do want to give flowers to, and it's not Dallas TV novellas.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Detroit Lions. And the reason why I say that is because Darren over there is a Detroit Lions fan.
Mm-hmm.
And his fandom actually makes no damn sense because it was inspired by nothing. He just wanted to be different.
They've lost me money this preseason.
Why are you betting on preseason games?
Because I'm trying
preseason.
I want to feel good.
We're
okay?
talking preseason.
We are talking preseason. And Hendon Hooker.
When you were in school, we were talking practice. Now we're talking preseason.
You probably didn't even watch any of these preseason
I'm going to go off on you like Ted Lasso.
It was a beautiful game against the Dolphins, and Hendon Hooker had the pass. It was just, I just want to see Hendon, dude, because Goff's not the answer. They're going to use Goff for maybe 1-2 years more, and then it's going to be Hendon Hooker time, man.
I
And
mean,
I'm ready
well,
for
what makes
I'm
you
ready for them Detroit Hookers.
what makes you say Goff isn't the answer though? He had one bad game against the Commanders.
Yeah, but it's just I know how he is, and I know how those.
But he's been. But how can you say that when he's been to multiple NFC Championship games and a Super Bowl? You're gonna hold one bad game against him.
Hold on. That's the thing. That's the thing. Age is gonna catch up to you, and for the type of player he is, he's not a mobile pocket guy. He's not some guy that's like a Dak Prescott. That's he was out and getting surgeries and stuff. He's taking the hits. He's taking the hits, man. And I just.
But Jared Goff, hold on. Jared Goff has overall been healthy though, and he's not like Aaron Rodgers or Matthew Stafford age.
I mean, I get it, but it's just like I said 1 or 2 more years. He's got 1 or 2 more years in Detroit, and that NFC North getting better. This is the Bears. The Bears, they're shaping up. I've been watching the preseason with the Bears. The Bears are looking a little bit more serious. They look serious at least.
Okay, so I want to get 2 takes from Joe, and we'll go to Nick last. But what I want to say first is they're commenting about your gambling addiction here, Darren. They're saying you should seek help in the group chat.
If you need help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ask Michael Jordan. Stop it. But so there's 2 takes that he gave. Hold on, let me go to Joe first. There's 2 takes this man gave that are hot garbage. First of all, he's hating on his own quarterback, which I don't appreciate. And then the second one is he's saying that the Bears are more serious. First of all, I think if the Bears are going to be more serious, it's going to be in another year or 2 from now. It's not going to be this year. And second of all, what is your take on Jared Goff? You can give me either one first.
Yeah, so I'll start with the Lions collectively. I think that the Lions, just generally speaking, I mean, they're playing in a very competitive division. They are, 3 out of the 4 teams in that division last year were in the playoffs. The Lions were the number 1 overall seed last season, and you don't get there. I think they were they were 14-3. I think they was their final record. 15-2. It was one of those. Yeah, it was 15-2 because they finished tied with the Vikings.
Yep.
And the Vikings were the first 15 win wild card team, which was insane. I think that what did the Lions in last season, and I think this actually played in very well with the Eagles. And I talked with Dave Spadaro about this before. Was the fact that that the Lions had a serious injury problem last year. They had a really serious injury problem. They had like 21 players on injured reserve. It was not a good time for the Lions fans. So I think that if the Lions can nip the injury problem in the bud this year, and I haven't seen enough of that. I haven't been following them closely enough to know whether or not they're going to do that in the preseason. Sometimes the injury bug just kind of shows up, and you can't avoid it because football's a physical sport. Injuries are going to happen. But if the Lions are able to do if the Lions are able to really focus on keeping their guys healthy, they are going to be a formidable team this year.
Because they got to a
point. What's going to happen?
Because they got to a point where they didn't have any of their starters out there on defense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They were playing those guys. They were playing preseason.
Yeah. And
they were signing people off the street.
Yeah. And that is the problem with that's one of the problems with football is you can be a really good team. You can have the best players in the world, but there are still those things that you can't control, and you really have to instill this idea of next man up. The Eagles do this really well, and Super Bowl 52 was a season where we had very similar problems, and we were able to, as a team, overcome those. Obviously, Nick Foles coming in to fill in for Carson Wentz, but he was not Carson Wentz is the most notable injury that year, but he was not the only one, and there were plenty of guys, plenty of starters who went down who there were definitely alarm bells that were raised, and The Eagles did a really good job of next person up. The other thing, too, that the Eagles did really well with, and they've been doing really well with over the last several years, has been the training and the rehab staff. Trying to get guys back onto the field. And the example that I have for this is Jihad Campbell, who was the Eagles' first-round draft pick this year, has been dealing with a leg injury during the offseason. For the first couple of weeks of training camp, I forget if he's been on the injury report lately, but for the first couple of weeks of training camp, Jihad Campbell has been listed as limited. But the Eagles beat reporters who are on site at NovaCare Complex every day, who are watching it, kind of have acknowledged that it's not the limited is kind of like only in name. He's been doing all of the stuff that you would expect a player to go out and do during practices, during preseason games, things like that. So he's been out there, and I mean, this is why like Nick Sirianni will harp on this idea of like it takes so much more behind the scenes work. His mantra, which made it onto the Eagles Super Bowl ring this year, was you can't be great without the greatness of others.
Yes.
I think that the Lions last year, if they can figure out a way to really focus on that rehab part of it and focus on making sure that guys who do go down are able to get back in as quickly as we can, but as safely as possible too, then I think they're going to be a formidable team in the NFC North.
I agree with that 100%. But I do have one other thing to ask you about. So the Lions made a lot of different coaching changes, but at the same time, you know, they have flipped the culture on its head with the hire of Dan Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
What do you expect to see from the coaches that are part of the Lions staff that have been newly integrated in there?
Yeah, and again, I can't say that I follow the Lions closely enough to know every coaching move or everybody who's farther down. Certainly Dan Campbell coming in has been a real godsend for that team, and the Eagles will play the Lions later on this year. So I actually have a little bit of respect for the Lions because I believe during this offseason, as we know, during this offseason, the NFL considers a whole bunch of rules changes, and one of the Eagles' signature plays over the last several years has gone by many names. It's either known as the brotherly shove or the tush push are the two common ones.
We were talking about the Philly special earlier, and that's the one that got stuck in my head, and I can't believe the tush push was out of there.
Yeah, so the Lions were the only team of the teams that the Eagles play this year to vote against the tush push ban. That ban that was proposed by
0-17.
A ban that was proposed by another team that the Eagles will play this year, a team that the Eagles played twice last season, the Green Bay Packers, another team out of the NFC North. So,
Tom Grossi, you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
Tom was actually not part of the band, the tush push train, so I give him all the credit for that. But this was I've mentioned this.
Your
before.
fan is saving you.
I've mentioned this before. On my show, I've said this. The move to ban the tush push had all of the reeking of a vindictive owner.
Shut up. As the comic in this fucking group chat, you're fucking
listen.
bunch of words.
That sounds like a man who has a team that can't run the tush push.
It had all it had all of the stench of a owner who was basically a sore loser. Basically a sore loser. Because if you don't like it, you've got to find a way to stop it. And there are absolutely ways to stop it. The Eagles have not been perfect on the tush push this year. They have not been perfect on the tush push in the last couple of seasons. So
I didn't talk about
you absolutely can stop it. The reason why the Eagles are able to run it so successfully and other teams can't is because the Eagles have 5 refrigerators as their offensive line and a quarterback that can squat 600 pounds.
Meat and potatoes, baby!
So.
Yeah, none of which any of us can do. Yeah, dude.
Fuck the tush
Listen,
push.
listen.
Push.
All I'm saying,
What are
all
we
I'm
talking
saying is Hulk Hogan.
I just listened
Hulk
for so
Hogan
long.
told you guys to say your
I'm-
prayers
I'm-
and eat your vitamins. You have been saying your prayers and not eating your vitamins. You can't have one without the other.
Yep.
You can't have
No,
your
I
cake
ate my
and eat it too.
vitamins, and I haven't talked about my prayers.
You haven't talked about your prayers.
Yeah.
What prayers? What are you praying for, sir?
Go Cowboys. This is our year.
I mean, we know you're praying. You're definitely praying. You're
Well, I'm
looking
saying,
for
like, there was a
prayers.
lot
You're
of
looking for
fucking
hope somewhere.
talk for nothing.
You know, we've been there as well. We've talked about
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. Yeah, and the Eagles the Eagles have been good. The Eagles have been good for the last number of years, but it's very cyclical. And the NFL, I think, does a really good job of putting policies in place to try to keep teams from becoming like the Lakers or like the or like in the NBA or like teams that can basically just run away, right? The salary cap that's put in place is a hard salary cap. Teams can never go over the salary cap.
Right.
You have policies in place with regard to how the schedule is constructed, so that way, if you are a really good team, you're going to be playing other really good teams over the course of the year, and if you're not a really good team, then you're going to be playing other not as really good teams over the course of the year, and the hope is that
Keep it competitive.
yeah, it stays competitive. So the NFL does a really good job of that, and yeah.
No, I agree with
that.
that 100%.
This is where college football is 12-week playoff.
You want to know the thing with college football, though, and this is why I'm probably into the NFL a little bit more than I am college, because you bring up college football. So I'll transition into that for a second. There are so many different teams, and I feel like because of like all of the different teams and all of the different divisions, because there's just so much, it's a little bit harder to get into college football. Whereas, like you just talked about with the NFL, you have some sets of good teams, you have some sets of bad teams. Those teams typically tend to play each other, and you have two conferences.
Yeah.
And it's able to be broken up much better, and there's so much less mess that's involved. And
It's
I feel like it
professional
makes it so much
versus-
more easy to follow.
Yeah, pro sports intrinsically is going to have less teams than college sports just because of the vast majority of players who are in college sports
lot more
to
students
go pro, right? Like there's the NCAA routine used to run PSAs. I don't think that they do this, at least not with this language anymore. But they
I don't
used
know.
to
When
run
I was in the
PSAs
NCAA,
where they
I couldn't get paid to make a YouTube video, and now
I'm still looking to do that myself. Don't worry.
Yeah, so the NCAA used to run PSAs where like there are more than 300,000 student athletes nationwide, and almost all of them will go pro in something other than sports. And that's, I mean, like you take a look.
no,
at that,
but
right?
you couldn't make money off of that until recently.
Well, that's also there's a whole other conversation that we definitely don't have time to go into.
Yeah.
You have all the time.
I mean, I would have loved to be able to make money in college. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Especially that.
Damn,
I wouldn't have to worry about surviving off of ramen so damn much. You know what I mean? So
It would have been nice
let
to
me-
have a YouTube channel.
1 second. Let me ask you this. So again, like we've talked about, you talked to a lot of Eagles insiders, beat reporters. We brought Dave Sparato's name up a couple of times. What's some advice that you've gotten from different reporters, Dave Sparato, anybody else you've talked to over the course of your YouTube channel?
Yeah. So the biggest advice that I have gotten has been like when you're, and this would be for anybody who's starting out with anything, right? Is start because you don't know if you're gonna like it if you don't try it. So if you're at all thinking about like getting into this kind of space or doing anything like that, the advice that I have gotten has been to start doing it, and then also to try and be as consistent as possible with it, right? Like, and that's one of the things, and that can be a real struggle sometimes for a football-focused channel, right? Like, it can be very difficult once the Super Bowl happens, there's a couple of dead weeks before you have the combine, and then there's a couple of dead weeks after that before you have the league meeting, and you can come up with some stuff for the league meeting. And then after the league meeting, there's the draft, so you can start coming up with some stuff for the draft. But usually after the draft, and especially when schedule release happens, and maybe a little bit with like the some of the organized team activities that are put in place by the NFL, and that teams participate in, like OTAs, mini camps, things like that. Once those die down, and the NFL goes dormant for about 7 weeks, up until when training camp starts, and it can be during that stretch. It can be really, really hard to be consistent. Saying that up front, so you come up with creative ways to try to try to adapt to that, right? Like. One of the things that I've pivoted towards has been focusing on football, maybe more generally speaking, during the off season, not so much NFL specific, because there's oftentimes not a lot of news coming out. And one thing that's really helped with that is that flag football is going to be an Olympic sport in 2028.
Have you ever played football?
Have I ever played? Not off of the recess playground.
He's played a lot of kill the man with the ball.
Something like that.
I used to love that on the playground. I used to get in trouble for that all the time.
No, we used to have pickup football games like flag football, two-hand touch, things like that on the playground. Like that, I would play in those sometimes. But no, I never actually played the sport.
I was gonna say in middle school or elementary school, have you ever seen a soccer game turn into rugby?
You're asking me to go way, way, way back.
I know. I'm sure I am, but I remember a couple of those.
I can't say I've seen that.
What's your most physical background? Martial arts, football, soccer.
I did do karate growing up. I was also I was also in scouts as well, so I had a lot of physical activity through scouting. Yeah, the Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Were you a bear?
I made it all the way to Eagle, so yes, I was a bear.
You were an Eagle.
Cub Scouts. Yes, I made it all the way up to.
I am impressed he knows the rankings. I didn't know that actually.
Bear is a Cub Scout rank, so I got started in Cub Scouts in elementary school, and so it went Bob, Cat, Tiger, Wolf, Bear,
I was a Tiger Scout.
Tiger, Wolf, Bear, Weeblos, and Weeblos had 2 years. And then it was, and then you crossed over to your Scout troop, and then it was Scout, Tenderfoot, Second Class, First Class, Star Life, Eagle.
That's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never guessed this. I don't know how much of that I'm gonna remember.
He
said that so fast and everything. Oh, dude, you mentioned swimming though. My full-time job, I'm actually a swim instructor, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing that for about 4 years. You just made me think of it, so
yeah,
I just brought it up.
Yeah. So back to the piece of advice that I've gotten. So try to be consistent, which can be again that can come, especially in like football, it can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes. And then the other thing that I had was like try to make sure that you're forming the relationships and keep those relationships alive, right? Because I mean, you definitely don't want to burn bridges, and you always want to make sure that like I mean, when you have a guest on, like they do not owe you a thing. They do not owe you. They don't owe you a reply if you reach out to somebody, and that's always been the approach that I have taken. Is like you do not owe. You are not owed anything. They are the ones who are being gracious enough to do whatever it is that you're asking them to do, and that can be whether or not that can be including. Whether it's coming on your particular show or your particular podcast or whatever it is that you want to do, or there's some kind of a request. Like this year, Bird's Nest Media was credentialed to cover the Eagles at the White House. So I went down there to cover the team when they were doing the PR visit down there, and like the nobody owes me a reply when I'm asking for that, right?
Yeah.
Like, but it comes from everything that has everything good that has come to the channel has come from making sure that you're trying to build relationships. So
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. We do have about 5 minutes left. Ruben gave me the signal. If you want to talk about that experience at the White House, I would love to hear about it.
Yeah. So I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot to talk about, right? Like, I mean, it was an opportunity that kind of fell into our lap, and I went down and I brought along with me a somebody who I've been working rather closely with over the course of the last little while. Dalton Holland over at 302 Birds is another channel that I've gotten to know very well, so Dalton and I both went down. We spent the day pretty much down there. It was a unique experience down there, just seeing how the press covers the White House on a day-to-day basis. Like that was rather interesting of an experience to have. And then obviously to go down there and just be able to cover the team on site for the first time, which is not something that I've covered facets of the team, right? But like I can't say that I've ever like gone down like as a reporter and covered the Philadelphia Eagles as they are doing something as a team together, right? Like I'm not at practices, I'm not at training camp, I'm not doing those things, right? Like I do go to the public practice, but anybody can go to the public practice, but I'm not like credentialed to cover the team at NovaCare Complex. So to be able to do that and to have that experience was really, really cool. And to be able to do it in a way, because I do not talk politics on my channel really at all. So the fact that I was really able to do that was, and to interact with those guys was, and to see behind the scenes down there was really exciting.
It's crazy to watch it cross over, especially because I'm a little bit more of a wrestling YouTube channel myself.
Yeah.
And just seeing the crossover that kind of happens there sometimes is mind-boggling to me. So there's another creator who that I've been able to meet. He has a podcast called Going Ringside. His name is Scott Johnson, and he's a news reporter himself down in Florida. He has this. He's been a wrestling fan all his life. He has this podcast, and he reports on politics as well. And he'll often talk about the crossover as well. And the thing that's probably blown my mind the most recently is how WWE was involved in bringing the fitness test back to schools, which, you can have whatever opinion you want about it. That's really not for me to talk about here, and that's not really something I'm interested in going back and forth with on this channel, especially because people like to get butthurt, and that's why I don't like to talk about politics. But it's so interesting to me, to see them get involved with something like that.
Yeah. Well, the NFL is the same way too, right? The NFL has the Play 60 initiatives, which helps like schools out, making sure that there's physical fitness programs in schools. The flag football operation that the NFL has really gotten behind, NFL flag, was essential in drumming up support, and the Eagles bought into this as well. So the NFL flag and the Eagles together, the NFL flag and the Eagles together, along with the Steelers, work together to get the PIAA to recognize flag football as a high school sport. Eagles. So, So
fuck the Eagles.
You're not gonna break this, man. You've been trying. Yo, honestly, like, he does that, and I want to sing like the Law and Order theme song. I just want to be like, like put like a soundtrack to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let me just say this: you've done a lot with your channel.
I'm a comic.
A lot.
You got a shitty hairline.
I love to be able
bad
to
take on
see another
sports.
YouTuber.
Your
be
fucking
able to...
glasses are brutal. I would never wear those.
I almost wore those to read something. It was very helpful. I gotta tell you.
I'm just saying.
I appreciate that, man.
No worries.
But you've been putting a lot of hustle into your YouTube channel, and I've been very happy to see your growth, some of the things you've done with it, and I really very much appreciate you coming on the show and being able to chop it up.
Professional.
Absolutely, and I appreciate the invitation to come over here and Yeah, it's a ton of fun, and I remember having you on the show a couple during that 23-24 season
I
where
know I'm a jerk.
everything hit the fan. But
sorry.
It was a
always
fun time, man.
Yeah,
I
but it was-
definitely enjoyed the show.
Yeah, but it's a good opportunity, and I've been really grateful for some of the stuff, or for a lot of the stuff that it has panned out. So
Yeah, man. But absolutely would love to have you back
I
on the
wouldn't
show.
have wore
Would love
that
to be
shirt,
back on yours as well.
Go
100%
Cowboys.
appreciate it. But I do want to say thank you for being on once again. As always, guys, we'll be back next week. We may be back Wednesday or Thursday. Not 100% sure yet. It'll all depend on, when Ruben allows me back in the studio. So, thank you guys for all of your support. We genuinely 100% appreciate it. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Again, we have just passed 15,000 subscribers, 15 and a half actually. Help us get to 16 by next show. We love you guys. Thank you all. We'll be back again. Deuces.